So I think this experience of going through death every day, by virtue of the 6 Psalms, is one that like helps you realize how important it is, like you were saying, memory, like to cultivate memory and remembrance, and also to kind of open the self in such a way that its main, the central feature of its subjectivity is essentially this kind of relation to God by which we beseech his mercy, which is essentially the Jesus prayer, right? Like that's what the Jesus prayer is doing. But I think,
and then in the Philokalia, the idea of the memory of God, like it's so present, it's so important to understand that in some ways that is the way that we are connected to God, is just through attention and memory. Like if we can live in that memory, then I mean, would you even sin? Like if you could just live in the memory of God, like how could you? You know, it's always by forgetting. It's always by forgetting my connection to the higher things that I fall into my own idiosyncrasy, and I think that I can get away with this, or I think that I'm isolated, like this buffered self, and that my thoughts don't matter, that my actions don't matter. But if I remember God, then how can I fall into these other types of patterns? Because we have the liturgy, and because we can at least have these moments where, in some ways, how can I say this? Not that we're forced to do it, but that the external situation is kind of leading us into it, and we can have little glimpses of that possibility.
It's like there's an electrical current there, with the soul to God, and you're kind of plugging in for as long as you can, and then, maybe you can't plug in for a long time, but you can plug in for a few minutes, and then that changes you, right? Like there's an energy there.
Yeah, but it's all, once you understand the role of memory and attention in the way in which we exist in relationship to others, but also, just even in terms of our relationship, like memory and attention is how you stay connected to your friends, to your family, to all the people that are around you. And so this idea that it would be arbitrary that you would try to have memory and attention in your life, in your daily life towards God, like just like you said, just connect even for just 30 seconds, 1 minute, like waiting outside for someone or whatever, to just kind of go into the Jesus prayer. It's like, it will create a basic strata of what you are. Like it'll create a basic strata of what's most important to you.
Yeah, I was just reminded of something I heard a while ago about how kind of the currency in the digital economy is attention, right? Like that's what